All right, all right. What's up? What's up? Yeah, we don't got that many people on today, so I guess we'll make it relatively quick. So I didn't take any trades this week. Like I said, this week I was kind of dealing with some personal stuff, just kind of just handling some stuff, right? So I didn't really have so much time to be on the charts, and also for like Asia session, like this has been kind of trashy, like I said. So because this has been kind of trashy, just nothing to look at in Asia. And then during the New York sessions throughout the week, I just didn't see too many opportunities that really just caught my attention. Obviously there's like a really decent move here for like London, but by the time New York came along, which is like here, and then once we got the actual move, it was already at the New Day Open, so that was not really that good. Other than that, there's been like decent moves. There's a decent move here, like on GU, where it had like that sweep, and then there's like a decent little break internally test, and then TP1 would have been hit, and then obviously that would have broken even. But this is now just a this is entirely a DXY play in my opinion. So you guys know that I'm not really giving up on the bullish bias completely. Why? Because this is technically, you could say, you can argue it's like a monthly POI. So because we can argue it's a monthly POI, maybe even a weekly POI, because we're dealing with such a higher time from POI, I'm expecting the move or the transition internally to be relatively long, which is in relation to the time frame. So for example, if we're going just based on the counts of candles, it's like if I'm looking at this POI, which is, let's just say on the daily, right? This is like X amount of candles, right? Then I can't expect this reaction to just be immediate, right? Like I actually want to let time kind of come into play and then maybe give some type of transition. And if anything, the more the better. Because if this is to stall in the POI for a lot longer, then I'm gonna have a lot more confidence that this will go higher. And so if I have the confidence in that, then it would support obviously this break of structure. And if it supports this break of structure, then we can obviously start aiming for TP1, TP2 from right the POI standpoint, because obviously this would confirm the reaction of the POI. But yeah, it's pretty much now from an internal standpoint, it's not really playing in our favor. So if you guys can see here, this is kind of messy. For the week, we can even probably just go here, right? For the week, that being pretty much from right around here, right? We did kind of have a pretty big drop, and then that is shown here. We had a drop, and we were last week, we were kind of sticking to the bias, but I've also trying to make sure that we also consider that the medium term is bearish. So if the medium term is bearish, then just because I am long term bullish, like it's going to be very hard to find the timing internally. Hence why the order flow is still technically bearish. So now it gets a bit tricky because I can obviously rationalize my way into figuring out why this should be bullish. We could say there's equal lows. Equal low, sorry. There's a low being swept here, but relative equal lows being swept. And then we had a pretty decent reaction. But now the problem with that reaction is that we have not followed through. Like, if this was going to be the real sweep, in my opinion, like, especially after this, like, I'm anticipating this to kind of just go. So the fact that it isn't going, and if anything, we're probably looking at like a 71 here. Close enough. So we're kind of looking at a premium discount. We have some big bearish candles here, so we have some decent momentum going to the downside. So for now, like I can kind of assume, right, or I would like to assume that we'll probably take out those lows, and like it's relatively the same here, right? Now the problem with that is that there's a divergence between dollar and EU, which is now a bit conflicting because, like I said, if I want this to essentially give me a bullish bias, like it seems a lot more reasonable now to assume something like this. And then, okay, let's look for a transition somewhere around here, right? And then from there, we can kind of assume this would go higher. But because there's a divergence here, you can kind of make the argument that potentially EU could give you some type of momentum to the downside. So this is kind of what I was looking at this morning, right? There's a couple of things standing out, right? Although we are still technically internally bullish, like we are internally bearish with dollar. from an EU POV, we have swept this relatively important high, which is right May's high, last week's high. So we swept last week's high, right? And then overnight, right here, this is like pretty much right around the open of the New York session, right when we had the New York session, we had that news event come out. News event ended up pushing us beyond these equal highs. So because we are taking out these equal highs, then I am paying attention here in how we react after this has been taken out. So clearly there's like a POI right here. This is not the most important thing. I don't really care. That's just kind of for show. Because obviously internally we want to see a reaction. And if we start to zoom in, the reason why I didn't take this is because we held this low. So because we held this low, it's pretty much not ready in my opinion. So like now it's like if I am to take a position, it would have to be technically high risk, and the high risk position would come from this M30 engulfing candle. So it pretty much the perimeters would be, let's say like here, it would be pretty much right now. Like my perimeters would have to be this. This would be like one of my first TPs. And then obviously if eventually we would want this to scale to here, right? So like it that makes sense, but like I'm just not into it right now because it's Friday. It's about to be the new week closure, and today's closure has been very, very bullish. So like if I'm now stuck in this position, like this weekly does not look good. Like the weekly doesn't look good. Like if anything right now from an unbiased standpoint, like I can easily argue that this is bullish. We have a engulfing or a very strong candle, and we're kind of coming into the inefficiency here, and then we're kind of bouncing off. So therefore, like that would be like a reasonable target. That's what it's looking like now, and then this would be the immediate. And that's what's kind of what it's looking like now, just because it's technically a CBOS, right? Why is it CBOS? Because low, high, internal CBOS. That's a CBOS as well. So this would be right a important high, but we are still anticipating this to go higher. So like I'm just not trying to marry the bias, right? Like I don't want to marry the bias, and I don't have signs yet as to why this can be bearish, but I do have signs as to why it can't be immediately bullish anymore. And that was being the equal highs being swept, the POI reaction, but we didn't get the full break. So that's the only thing really holding me back. But like, yeah, if we're talking about just an aggressive move, that would be this. This is like the definition of an aggressive move, but that's technically justified because of the engulfing. However, you're probably looking at holding this over the weekend, and I'm not really trying to hold over the weekend right now, especially because every week there seems to be like a decent amount of gaps. Um, like you can see here, this is like a 25 pip gap, right? So I'm not really trying to deal with that. So I'll just let this ride for the rest of the week and just let it go from here. But if it was any other day but Friday, maybe I'd take this high risk position here. I just think that makes some type of sense. And then the only thing it's holding me back to is this. So the two main reasons why I wouldn't execute would be this, right? And I know that equal lows don't shape our bias, but when we're this close, I don't consider this a mitigation. I do not consider that a mitigation. So therefore, I have to assume the continuation, right? And that goes for GU. Still expecting this one to be bullish as well, just because of where it's at now, especially after this internal break. Right, because of this internal break, you can consider this order flow disruption. From that order flow disruption, maybe there is even a second 71. Looks like there was. So yeah, so from here, there was like an internal 71. That's a CBOS. So internal 71, and then we're obviously still technically aiming for this if we're looking at this from a continuation standpoint. And what's also not making me want to be bearish on this is the fact that we tried to be bearish here, right? There's a very clear move here. There's even an internal sweep, and then there's high momentum to the downside. So I'm expecting this after this move that's semi-violent, has the internal sweep, is bouncing out of the POI. right? I would expect this to kind of just roll over from here if it's going to go in that direction. So the fact that this is failing, I'm kind of considering this as a failure. So I'm more so leaning towards the upside, you know? So I'm not too interested in sales on here. This one I was looking at as well this morning, after the news event, because we saw a pretty big, well, this is like an engulfing here, but this is a pretty big move here. But I don't really trade gold. Lex told me to look at this. So I'm like, okay, like I'll look at it. I'll see what's up. But yeah, that 10-minute engulfing, very nice, and it just never tapped. Right, so I don't really trade gold, and I also consider this to be uh, a bit of a aggressive move. So I'm not too interested in this either. But this is now in no man's land territory for me because the overall is bullish, the internal is bearish. We technically have unwillingness, so the internal here is bullish, right? And we're in the middle of this range. So this is technically like the worst place for me to want to take a position because I'm kind of guessing on whether or not we're going to continue the medium term or if the medium term is going to fail and then obviously continue the overall. So like I'm in the middle, so I don't really want to pick sides. This one, interesting. This one was interesting as well. You guys know that we caught the sell last week on this. This is like at the perfect position here. I did hold like a really little bit of my position, then ended up just getting trailed out. Like, right, once we have solidified high here, I'm like, okay, we're going down here. Didn't work out. So as you guys can see, the structural disruption, that can pretty much stay from there. That structural disruption is kind of driving this forward. But yeah, I'm not really interested in this one at all right now. This one's also kind of just in no man's land for me. So if I want to be bearish again, I need that to be swept and then maybe like a transition. So yeah, other than that, a couple of interesting ones here. This one was pretty interesting. This one kind of caught my eye earlier in the week. Because it was caught my eye yesterday because there's like a potential like accumulation on a potential accumulation. But I just didn't get an entry here, so glad that one kind of didn't go my favor. So this one still very much bearish. Failed to break a high, or did we sweep that high? Actually, let's see. Technically swept that high, but either way, the overall bearish. So I'm anticipating this, to be hit relatively soon. So yeah, all the signs are really kind of pointing to dollar down for now. So I'm not gonna get too hasty with trying to pursue that reversal, right? Because this is technically a reversal. But yeah, other than that, we can go ahead and look into some case studies and probably wrap today's call up pretty soon. And I will probably start working on the um on cohort 2 this week. So I'll probably make an announcement for like the pre-sale this week. And then you just go from there. So it'll be same price as the first one. They'll all be the same price. And then probably only give like a discount to those from the first one. What recording app do you use now? It is kind of pretty laggy. Is it laggy right now? It shouldn't be laggy right now. Oh, on the YouTube uploads. Yeah, it's still the Zoom thing. I did find a solution. I just haven't had the time to actually test it out, and I don't want to test it out on a webinar day. So yeah, we'll see. But I did end up fixing like the old issue that Zoom was giving me. But yeah, I'll do my best to probably start using that new setup. It's like a brand new app. It's like free. I don't know if you guys have to download the app or if you guys can like just join the call like online. We'll have to see. But yeah, if that works out, then I'm probably just gonna stop using Zoom entirely, and then I'll probably pay for like a better screen recorder, and that way, because there's like a really good one called like Screen Studio or something like that. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into these. Okay, this is not bad. I like this one. I like this. So you're kind of playing against that as you kind of have to. Just the continuation here. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just hoping that the internal is uh is aligned as well. Like on the M5, like if we could see like something on the M5, that would be cool. But it does look like maybe there's an internal transition. So let's see if let me see if you sent me the internal. 3 pin pattern, sure, but this is kind of throwing me off here. This here. So the fact that this is like in play, that means I have to assume this. So this little sweep is showing me that there is a potential reaction, then you have order flow disruption, but this isn't an order flow disruption that you could play off of. But it is telling me that if I want to be bearish, I need this to break. If this breaks, I we're good, you know. But that's kind of the only thing throwing me off here is this. See, like if this would have been broken here, like I did here, then maybe if there's like an execution, then that TP1 would have been hit. So hope you trailed your stop here. Yeah, but more than anything, if you don't even trail your stop, like usually if you start to see a range move, I kind of want to stay away. Usually for the most part, the moves that I want to catch, especially if I catch them at a transition, they'll usually be like this. Like not like this. Like if I'm caught in something like this, maybe I did something wrong, maybe I'm selling too late. Or from a higher time frame, it may not make sense to sell, or I'm selling at a discount somewhere. Um, okay, this one's aggressive. Aggressive. I would kind of prefer to have this break, preferably this, and then nah, that would be perfect. Yeah, here you're kind of picking a high here. You're picking a high 100%, especially if you have a big engulfing candle like that. This could very easily just like continue higher. So no, I don't agree with this. I think you're picking a high here. Oh, nice. Did you show me the internal? Oh, you didn't show me the internal. I want to see what happened here. Because, for example, here, if we break this, if we break this, then any type of test here, this is like your whole POI, and then now this is like a very high probable sell. So yeah, if you had like a break, and then hopefully there's like a way to test back. Yeah, or at least wait for like an engulfing or something, you know. But yeah, it's still very good. Also, I would partial at lows. I wouldn't partial at POIs. I only partial at POIs if there is no what's it called? If there's no low or relatively close low present, then I would use the POI. But for the most part, where you got it, I would rather use like lows as TPs. But yeah, but this is good though. I'm glad that you're starting to get a little bit better with the alignment side, and you're actually seeing like decent gains here. And like this is fine. The fact that you hit break even, that's fine. That's just part of the this is part of the process of wanting to hold your positions longer. If you're holding this longer, then there's obviously a possibility that this can always return back to your entry. So that's okay. I'm not opposed to that. That looks good. But if there was like a break here that you can capitalize on, this is like what would make that A plus because there's POI, there's internal sweep, but then more importantly, there is the internal sweep as well. Okay, aggressive, but I'm not opposed. It looks like there's like an external sweep, CBOS, but more importantly, this is in play. So this looks good. Looks decent. Now the only thing that you're kind of playing against is that. So if you're playing against that, that means that if you want it to be super conservative, like obviously some type of break here would be important, but it would depend on how it breaks from in the internal standpoint. But yeah, not my cup of tea, but I see why you're taking it. I'm not opposed to it. Yeah, I'm not opposed to this position at all. Yeah, that's very nice actually. Yeah, that's very nice. Let's see, is there a that little break there that would have been so clean? Why? Because this is like that last solidified low into the high. Yes, there's like an internal micro one, but for some reason this one's just kind of standing out a little bit more. So then that break, any type of test, and that's like again super A plus there. But yeah, this is very good though. I do like this one. Mainly from this. But yeah, very nice on that one. Um, sure. It looks like a good continuation play. You're in alignment from this and potentially internally that. But let's see if you have any smaller time frame. Okay, the engulfing is not bad. Okay. I'm not opposed to that. Now, the only thing that is going against you here is this. Oh, it is this, right? The fact that there isn't an internal trend there. So if there's an internal trend, then you have to anticipate something like that, maybe. So that's the only thing throwing me off there. Because that's technically like SD, and then that's a break. So this would be the only thing that's kind of going against you. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. We got this. Conservative entry would have been potentially here, but it's not clean enough here. I don't like this. Yo, can you mute your mic, please? Yo, come on. Come on, guys. Uh, okay. This internal break, that's fine. I don't like the entry here. I don't see any like conservative entry here. High momentum, but then that kind of favors this, right? Like this entire premium, which is why you're seeing a potential reaction, but there's no reaction and no follow through. But yeah, this is more so not something I would want to trade. This is why I like to stay away from like these types of continuations. Like I want to catch this and this, I want to catch the transition because these just become a lot more complex for me to want to trade because the alignment it might not be there on top of the fact that this could be future unwillingness. And then which is also like implied unwillingness here. So that's kind of like the only reason why I want to only buy in these situations. And if I can't get these situations, then I'm gonna stay away. This one, you're chasing this one, bro. You're chasing this one. This is a falling knife. You're chasing that. If you're already like, for example, if my position doesn't go in my favor and it, for example, it hits an invalidation, then that's the point of the invalidation for me to prevent me from wanting to try again, unless there's like a legit new scenario. Like that's kind of the point of the invalidation. No, you're chasing here, bro. I don't have to tell you anything on that one. Yeah, you're chasing. Okay, this one's not bad. This is not bad because of that internal sweep. Now it just depends on the internal reaction. Let's see. Yeah, you see after the if you interrupt the engulfing, and that you consider that the break. But if you're already here, it may not reach again. No, you're trailing your stop way too soon. But this engulfing is very alerting. Yeah, that engulfing would be very alerting for the bearish bias, for sure. But you should not be getting short stop here. You should not be like, if any, I'd be okay with like just manually closing from the engulfing. I don't want to try your stop. That's a bad habit. That's gonna mess you up in the future for sure. Did you send me like two of the same chart? Did I click it twice? Okay, this is nice. This is nice. See, so this is exactly why situations like this, where like it just better to just hold the break even and then just partial out. Like even if we're supposed to like show my stop here, like maybe you could take a partial there, and then from there just continue higher. But this is good. I like this because you have a sweep. The OFD, eh, yes, yeah, it's valid. It's valid. I'm not gonna say it's not. It's valid. But this break is the important part, and then you're using a good invalidation, so that's fine. You see, this is fine. This is a good little reaccumulation. Not bad. And this is, let's see, I would say this is like the key there, like the little sweep. The OFD is just internal confirmation, but then this break is kind of the big thing. And also, there's probably like a decently sized candle here on like M5. Which one, bro? I don't know what you're talking about. I gotta close a couple of these tabs too. You're gonna have to send the chart again. It's one, two, or three, bro. Oh, it's actually working out. That's kind of cool. Uh, you need this to break for sure. You need that to break, like with some type of conviction soon. If not, it'll just kind of. And also, I think this is a good little, yeah, three pin. No, not necessarily. But you're gonna have to tell me which one you're talking about, bro. I don't know which one you're talking about. Oh, this one's working out too. That's nice. You see, like if this one wasn't like at equal highs, like this would also be decent. Like if this was not equal highs, then this would be decent too. Because it's just looking too clean with like dollar as well. So like if anything, this is like one of those like if we were still like not about to close for the week, that would be like ideal. But yeah, bro, you gotta tell me which case study you're talking about if you want me to look back into it. But yeah, if we don't have any more questions or concerns, guys, I'll probably wrap it up here. That's not an implied sweep, bro. This is not an implied sweep at all. I'm not gonna review that. That's all in the book. Like this would be an implied sweep. This is not no sweep. A sweep is a range, it's not just a low. You're putting too much emphasis on the engulfing. This is bearish. This would be the ideal place to sell. I think this is where you got your sell, no? I think this is where Mike got his sell too. Kind of here. Yeah, you see, so like this is kind of what I was referring to. Like we have a break here, so if that's confirmed, then anything in here, even if it's just the top there, I think that's enough. Like I'm more than happy to get in there. But this is just giving me like full confirmation. Like you have the equal highs being swept perfectly, the internal break even, and then you could just use the whole range. Then TP1 is there. Yeah, I mean, great. I mean, that's fine. If you're gonna take those positions, fine. But you better be like sizing up there because those are the. If you're gonna do that, like you better go all in with your risk. Like at least not all in as in like over leverage, but as in like put your original risk on it. Because what's the point of a 1 to 20 if you're not gonna get anything out of it if you like downsize for that position? I wonder how this one's doing. I have not been looking at this. Oh, it's a nice little 3 pin. That's interesting. 3 pin. Hmm. But yeah, next week I definitely see this. If we're to get a reversal, maybe we can get like a sweep here, and then internally we can look for a decent position. But either way, this is still looking technically bullish. Well, like it's not bearish, but it's technically looking bullish. Like it's very easy to say. We can say like this. Excuse me. But yeah, any more questions or concerns, guys? Pretty much a quick one today. Yeah, this is like the main thing on this one is like here. This is looking decent. But still, yeah, it didn't break this, so probably not. In the long run, bro, trust me, probably not. Like I'm willing to pass on a week of price action if it means like next week I get like 1 or 2 really good setups. Like I don't even know if there was any actual good setups this week. Like outside of maybe like GU, this would have been like a good setup. TP1 for sure. It just wasn't aligned with like higher time frame. This one was really good. I just didn't see an entry here because this happened like at new day open. Actually, no, London actually. Never mind. This was the one that was a new day open. Because as soon as it got confirmed, like I didn't see a reason to enter. This one, see, and this happened like right at new day open. I guess this one's the same too. But yeah, I guess that'll be it for today, guys. I will see you guys next week, and expect the announcement for like the second workshop probably next week. I'll start working on that this weekend. Cool, guys. I'll see you guys next week.